Good morning and greetings from Northumberland on this fourth Sunday in Advent, when we begin to focus on the Virgin Mary, who you can see the image of here behind me. There, as in addition to this meditation, there will be our Advent prayer, and later, probably later today, because of the things we have on, there will be a recording of our Eucharist here at North Sunderland. We also today have the first of our open air carol services at Ellingham at 3 o'clock. We're very grateful to be able to go ahead with this, despite the announcements yesterday. But we would say to everybody who is coming, please don't forget your mask, please preserve social distancing, and please do everything you can to make this a safe and secure, as well as a very enjoyable gathering. Yesterday's announcement by the Prime Minister is one of those moments that we've experienced during the last 9 months, and it is almost exactly 9 months since our first lockdown, when we know that something important is happening. The Prime Minister doesn't often come on the telly at 4 o'clock on a Saturday. And his decision, and the decision of the government to radically change the Christmas plans, will have been a blow to many people, although I think many other people had expected something to happen a little sooner to modify these plans. The truth is, I'm convinced that the Prime Minister didn't want to change these plans, but he was forced into that position by the facts that were presented to him, and left with no choice about what he had to do and the government had to do. People are in real danger, and it's very important to accept that, and all of us to do everything that we can to protect our neighbours and to protect ourselves. There is going to be a very tricky time between now and when the vaccinations really begin to take effect, and more people have an immunity because of the vaccination. And we have to take on board that our behaviours and our actions and the way in which we live has to reflect that in the coming months. We can also, I think, rightly call on the government to do even more to help those people, especially people with small businesses and people up here in the tourist industry, who are really suffering as a result of this pandemic. And as a country, we have to draw together so that the rich can support the poor and that the strong can support the weak. These are important messages at this time. And so we turn to the Virgin Mary, who is at the centre of our celebrations. I'm going to start this little reading and reflection with a little bit of music, a traditional version of the Annunciation carol.
The angel Gabriel from God was sent to Galilee unto a virgin fair and free, whose name was called Mary. And when the angel thither came, he fell down on his knee, and looking up in the virgin's face, he said, "All hail Mary."
The angel Gabriel comes to Mary. The angel Gabriel comes to this woman who in some way has developed an openness to God and calls her to do something extraordinary, to become a mother in a very unique, in a unique way. And Mary says yes, and that's the key thing. Mary says yes to God. Mary says yes to the way in which God calls her to respond. And Mary's yes means that God's purpose and plan can come into effect. Mary's yes means that she can present Jesus to the world. And so the story that we will celebrate this Christmas, and Christmas isn't cancelled, the story that we will celebrate in a uniquely different way this year really begins. Mary's yes is a beginning. Mary's yes also is an example for us. All of us are challenged at different times by God about the way we live, about the things we do, about the things we say, about the way in which we respond to God and to other people. And like Mary, we have the opportunity to say yes to living in God's way. Later on, after Mary has visited Elizabeth, she speaks the words that we now know as the Magnificat, and which we find in St. Luke's Gospel. And those words seem particularly appropriate to me today. They talk about a different sort of world, a world where the strong are brought low, the weak are lifted up. We need that world, and we need those values as we as a country and we as a world seek to deal with this global pandemic. We have the abilities to do so, but we must also have the will to use this time as a kairos moment, a moment of opportunity to live in a uniquely God-directed way, to say yes to God, all of us, at this time. And so I'm going to read as our reading today, not from the Old Testament, but from St. Luke, from the words of what we call the Magnificat. These words, often read at night in church, night by night, speak to us of the transforming power of God. My soul proclaims the greatness of the Lord. My spirit rejoices in God my Saviour. He has looked with favour on his lowly servant. From this day all generations will call me blessed. The Almighty has done great things for me, and holy is his name. He has mercy on those who fear him, from generation to generation. He has shown strength with his arm, and has scattered the proud in their conceit. Casting down mighty from their thrones, and lifting up the lowly. He has filled the hungry with good things, and the rich sent empty away. He has come to the aid of his servant Israel, to remember his promise of mercy, the promise made to our ancestors, to Abraham, and to his children forever. May Mary's yes be echoed in our yes, and may God bless us all in this incredibly difficult time. And so we leave with those words of the song.
We all, both great and small, Noel,